Robeauté, as you mentioned earlier, is a company that is developing a novel solution for brain disease for the 1 in 3 people affected worldwide. So this is cancer, neurodegenerative disorders, Parkinson, Alzheimer's, different kinds of dementia, epilepsy. And today there is a real physical bottleneck that has stifled innovation in the brain for the past decades, and that is physical access. So we are unlocking the brain physically by providing a small, tiny device that can navigate through brain tissue to deliver novel tools and therapeutics in the brain to treat these disease. And yes, since last time we spoke, we have retired quite a bit of risk. We have progressed through our R&D, as you mentioned, manufacturing, upscaled manufacturing, built a formidable team. We've doubled in size over the past year, and we're well engaged in our preclinical studies and gearing up for our clinical now.
Okay, so that brings us on to the timeline question. And I know that you work closely with the FDA, the regulators, of course, in the US and elsewhere.
Yes.
What is the time frame? It sounds like science fiction, but you're ensuring that it's not going to be, that it's going to be real and real practical uses. When does this become a market opportunity?
Well, the new decade is extremely exciting. So we're aiming for that. We're aiming for early 30s to be on the market, and the ambition is really to work with regulators in different geographies in Europe as well as in the US to make sure this product gets to patients safely and the fastest way possible.
It's also about drug delivery, potentially, at some point. Talk to us about that potential.
It's actually a massive opportunity, Tom, because as I was mentioning earlier, there is a real physical bottleneck. And here it's an element of everything we've heard of today, the intelligence and the physical layer. NVIDIA is such an incredible company, and the real edge it has is it's nourishing this entire AI revolution, right, with the physical layer. We're doing the same thing. Today there are massive advances in not only AI and intelligence, but also in novel drugs, novel therapies, gene therapies, cell therapies, electrodes, and they all lack a way of physically being delivered locally with the right precision in the brain, exactly where they need to go and nowhere else. And so for drugs specifically, there's what we call the blood-brain barrier that separates whatever is in the blood from healthy tissue in the brain, but also when something goes wrong in the brain, drugs can't go past the blood-brain barrier with the right concentration. So we're going to be delivering them locally and enabling a whole new aperture for
We're talking about the convergence of AI-discovered drugs and robotics in this vision. How well placed is Europe when it comes to robotics?
I find Europe extremely exciting. We have an incredible mix of talent. We have a robotics heritage in Europe. We have the most incredible research centers in Europe around robotics. We have real talent, especially when it comes to microrobotics specifically. I think Europe has a larger challenge of working together because we compare ourselves to Asia or like the Chinese market you were saying earlier, or to the US, but the truth of the matter is that we still act like a fragmented market. Even though we have a unified certification that could be a little bit faster, smoother, and with a more collaborative approach, once you do get a CE mark, you still have to access all these markets independently, one from the other. So we need to work collaboratively and almost to have a uniformed access to the market too.
Okay.
That would be very helpful.
In human studies 2027, and then potentially on the market by 2030. Is that right in terms of the cadence?
Yes, it's definitely a staged approach. And even when it comes to applications, we start from one application, advanced tumor biopsy, to go and collect tissue to prove the safety of the approach. A microrobot moving through the brain sounded like science fiction yesterday. So this is extremely exciting. We start with something quite simple, and then we expand use cases too.